How's it going, everyone? Nathan back with our Showdown Live, continuing the Reuniclus spree here with a cool team that I was given by somebody in my Discord, actually. And I always say that if you're sending me something on Discord, feel free. I try my best to look at as many as that I get sent to me, but if I use it or not, it's really up to my discretion. If I like it, then yeah, absolutely, I'm going to use it and have a great time, in which case, like we are right now, that's what's going to happen. And number one obstagoon fan sent me this. I think it's a really fun looking team with a lot of Unova Pokemon. Really aggressive, but with some bulky considerations. For example, this Hydreigon's got a ton of Spadef, so it can handle Spectrier. This Landorus has got lots of defense, so that it can handle Cinderace more easily. So I really like what this team has to offer. Plus, it's got the Mind Shout, which is a fun addition and an expanding forest for Reuniclus. So I definitely love that. So shout outs again to Obstagoon fan number one here, or number one Obstagoon fan, or as they've chosen to go known by in this team builder here, poo.mp4. Cultured. I can dig it. And we're gonna get going right away. So very bulky team. We're gonna have to play it carefully. We have the answers for a lot of things, but we can only answer most sort of concepts once. And we're gonna come against a very classic looking rain offense. If I could make the most classic looking rain offense in a lab, it would probably be this with a Urshifu Rapid Strike over the Crawdons. But fair enough. And actually probably also well, now I'm getting into it because I would probably do Barraskewda over the Seismitoad if it's a classic rain offense, but then you lose that ground typing, which is very useful. So, I don't know what I would change to make this like the most classic possible. Again, if you're talking about just pure viability, who's to say? But to make it just like the most like generic Gen 8 rain offense, I wonder what it would be. But I'm probably spending way too much time debating a completely irrelevant point, and I think I might just lead up the gates to my Reuniclus here, because the most likely thing you're going to get in these situations is the Pelipper. Especially low ladder. There's no reason why they should be over analyzing their picks. So I'm thinking either Reuniclus or Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele will be able to break just fine too. I think Reuniclus because it covers the immediate Ferrothorn swap even better. So I'll do Reuniclus, and we do get the Pelipper as I suspected. Now Thunder is arguably a poor decision, and I guess it was. Because a Ferrothorn or a Seismitoad swap seems decently likely right now, or they can go to their Crawdon and just sack it turn one. Let's go. Reuniclus gets one straight at the gates here. That's what we love to see. We want to see that Reuniclus putting in work instantly. Now they're going to go Magearna right now, and I think we're going to see a Choice Specs Magearna. That's just my general vibe on this sort of thing, but I'm really concerned about Shift Gear Magearna. So if that's the case, what's my play here? What's this team's answer to Shift Gear Magearna? If I go to Ferrothorn, I'm just setting myself up to get Shift Geared into Calm Mind, all that stuff, and then we're in trouble. This is the thing, man. Like this. I don't know if I go to Landorus otherwise. If they Shift Gear, we can get Ice Beams immediately. I'm really puzzled. I could go to Thunder. We might even live one with this Reuniclus. I can just Thunder and hope for a Para. In that case, the Shift Gear set isn't nearly as terrifying. This is a truly scary option here. Again, my gut, I'm just going to go with my gut. I feel like it's a Choice Specs Magearna, and I'm going to go with the Ferrothorn on a Floor Cannon, which misses even better. Fantastic situation all around. I think I'm going to go for my Rocks then. We live everything pretty comfortably. Go for a Knockoff too, which definitely would hit just nice. But they're going to have a really hard time beating Steels in general with this team. Looking at it right now. Generally, Magearna suffers with Steels. Zapdos does get Hurricane and Weather Ball and Heat Wave, but in the rain, against the Ferrothorn, for example, that's not always ideal. I think I go for a Leech Seed here on a Hurricane. As long as we don't get confused, we're in a fine situation right now. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for them. If I'm my opponent, I'm looking at my team and going, oh my god, how am I going to beat Ferrothorn? And then forfeit. I didn't want to call them out, so they're definitely going to forfeit, but like, as soon as I hit that Leech Seed, I thought like, what are you doing there? A little bit savage maybe, but that's just how I call it. Very offensive team here, with some bulk of their own, right? Of course, Doc Specs is kind of a do-it-all tank, but Latios and Magearna and Tapu Bulu all have defensive utility, same as our Reuniclus and to an extent Tapu Lele, but more importantly Landorus, Therian, Hydreigon do. So choosing leads right now is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm most afraid of that Blaziken turn one, of course, which would make me really hesitate to go to this Hydreigon right now because it's not great versus Latios. It's more of a Spectrier counter than a Latios answer. We can probably come in on a Draco Meteor after it's halved special attack, but just off the rip, that's a little bit asking. That's asking a little bit much. If I'm looking for a bulky pivot, it's probably one of these two. In which case, our Landorus Therian's great, and that's also misspeak there. That's also really good versus Blaziken. And even Latios and Tapu Bulu can still U-turn. So I'm having a hard time saying no to this Landorus right now. question, of course, is whether it's scarfed or not. Normally I would go to Ferrothorn and scout it. If they attack, that suggests to me that they're scarfed and they're very confident in this matchup. But it's a broken record at this point. It's low ladder. They might just like make a silly mistake and stay in anyways. So I'm gonna U-turn. If they get me, if they're scarfed and they smoke my Landers out of the gates, that's definitely, we're down to Pokemon. But the point is, I need this intel on the Latios at this point, because if I go to Ferrothorn, I might be able to assume that it's a scarfed Latios, or they could have just made a misplay. So it's hard to say. That's the fundamental difficulty, if you ask me, about laddering in general, is so much of it comes down to, I would play very differently if I was playing a ladder tournament versus just even an average ladder game. Even if I'm in top 500 where people are playing very considerately and very carefully, you never know. Someone might make a crazy play because at the end of the day, it's just points on the internet that don't matter. Tapu Lele comes out though. Let's go to our... Choice Specs Lele seems pretty good. Do I have a Poison Jab in Mind Show? I don't. Ferrothorn, I don't love it. Could get Swords Danced on. I think I just go to Lele here. Plus we get the terrain back. Don't see a super comfortable swap in for our Size Shock, which I'm thinking I'm going to go for. I did 24% with U-turn. I'm thinking I went for Size Shock over Psychic. And if you don't know, Size Shock targets the physical defense instead of the special defense like Psychic would, which makes it very useful. Excuse me. Moonblast is actually really safe too. It covers a lot of options. In fact, I bet they go to Magearna or Toxapex regardless. So I'm just going to Size Shock. And they stay in. Okay, so we actually take that turn 1. That gets us in a great spot. They're really forced to go to their Magearna as far as I can tell. And yeah, they're going to opt for that. Again, this is my beef with Magearna. I don't know what's going to do right now. I don't know if it's going to set... do I go to Landorus on a shift gear? Do I go to Ferrothorn on a specs thing? This one I kind of suspect is shift gear, and I don't know if our Landorus' 208 speed will outspeed Magearna after shift gear. This is probably an important calc I should have just locked somewhere away in the noggin, but I don't know. It is faster, and we probably don't die to Aura Spear if that's the case. Or I'm gonna risk this, assuming for shift gear of some sort. Plus we get the stat drop. Okay, so it looks like they're specs that they're dropping a Volt Switch, which is great for us. This is tricky because Earthquake knocks out everything but Latios, and if we get Latios, we should U-turn. I'm gonna U-turn, hoping for the Latios. That's exactly what we get. And my justification for that was if they stayed in with the Magearna, they're probably choice locked, and I probably had a very comfortable option with my Ferrothorn here. So I was very okay with that. And do I just finally drop a good expanding force? I think we live a meteor. Maybe that's an egregious prediction there. Or I go to Tapu Lele. Yeah, it's not as exciting, but I think Tapu Lele works. I don't actually know how much Magearna takes from a Specs Lele. I think if it's offensive, it's more of a 3-hit KO sort of deal. They're gonna give us a Scarf, which is gonna guarantee this knockout at least. They could go to Magearna. If I'm them, I'm going to Magearna right now and saving that for a sack. And they completely match up to my expectations there, which is great. I'm gonna go Ferrothorn this time. Don't want to eat that whatever. Ice Beam. So maybe it's a Scarf Magearna. But they already had a Scarf on their Latios, so that's probably unlikely. They're probably just doing this for a little bit of extra coverage, which is fair. Now, I really want to make a double switch to beat the Blaziken, which would probably be to my Landorus here, but that's just like, that is such a gutsy play that I make every time on Nathan Likes Chicken. You already know. You already know I'm going to it right now. Okay, you know what? This works too. It's not choice locked at all. It's probably Assault Vest. Fair enough. That works. That works. We make the plays oh, what? Why am I all the way down here? I'm getting scene problems every time I do this, I swear. We make the plays regardless. Oh man, name a live where I'm not gonna have OBS troubles, and then I'll be happy. Probably Draco Meteor this time. Yeah, unfortunately we kind of got our guy dead to rights here at this stage. I'll go for the Leech Seed on Toxapex, that's fine. Let's get them rocks up as they go for Toxapex of their own. I think I'll knock off here. Maybe Power Up's more optimal, but knock off covers a Blaziken swap in a little bit better. Although if I was trying to cover the Blaziken swap and then definitely Landorus or yeah, Landorus would be the pick, but that's fine. As it stands, Landorus is okay right now. We might get knocked off right now. As they close combat instead, that's a-okay by us. I'm gonna actually EQ because if they go to Latios, we're fine. We're fine. We're chilling. We're chilling. Let's see, who do we get next? They're gonna forfeit. Okay, well, GG to them. successful live so far. Successful live. Quick games is always nice. That's what I appreciate about an offensive team like this. Reuniclus, I think, often lends itself to more defensive, careful, considerate play with its recovery and its magic guard, even regenerator. But an offensive team like this that just goes out swinging, you gotta love it. Now, looking at this team, looks very, very offensive. My first thought is a Grimmsnarl screen setter to open the game, in which case Tapu Lele start blasting right away. That sounds all right to me. However, that gives them a free Toxtricity swap in. Toxtricity we can deal with okay with their Ferrothorn, but then they can shift gear and Drain Punch on us. Landorus. Okay, I'm going way in advance here, but here's my thought. I go to Tapu Lele on the Grimmsnarl. I Oko them with the Moonblast, which I should even through screens. If not, oh well. They go to either Corviknight or Toxtricity. Corviknight, I'm not too afraid of. We probably just get U-turned on. They rarely carry Iron Head nowadays. And then, but more importantly, if they go to Toxtricity, which I suspect they do because that's more offensive pressure, I go to Ferrothorn straight away. If they shift gear, I go straight to Landorus Therian. And I think we live any one hit neutral, and then more importantly, we absorb the Drain Punch really easily. That's, I think, my play. And then I can maybe go back to Ferrothorn afterwards. I'm going way, way into the stakes for a turn 1 here. But I think Tapu Lele save, assuming we get this Grimmsnarl like I suspect we do. Instead, they go for a bulky pivot with Rotom Wash, which actually suits me just fine, because now I can go for a Psychic really easily. They could just U-turn into Grimmsnarl, which would be a crazy play, but I wouldn't put it past them. I'll Moonblast. If they U-turn or Volt Switch into their... Actually, we're in all likelihood faster. Okay, that's great too. Well, Volt Switch or not, if they go to their Corviknight, we're fine. They Thunder Wave, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we're fine. We'll probably say Volt Switch this turn into the Corviknight. And the thing about Volt Switch is it locks you in essentially, right? I can't double switch on a Corviknight swap. I knew they were going to Corviknight. I told you it 5 turns ago. But I couldn't make any play to beat that. They have Mirror Armor, so our special attack drops. Incredible. Stunning. I bet the U-turn. So now let's ask ourselves, who do we want to bait in from the opponent most? I'm thinking I want to bait in either the Spectrier. Oh, they're setting up on us? You want some of that sauce? And they've got a lot of defense to start too. So this, I thought I'd take like maybe 30% from this, but that means they have a good, body press stats to begin with. That's pretty crazy. And knowing that Mirror Armor, I can't even go to my Landorus. So maybe knowing that they were Mirror Armor was a bit of a tell on what set they were running. But damn, that's pretty crazy. I can go to my... Lele doesn't really have the coverage to beat it, which... So if I go to Hydreigon, it gets smoked pretty bad. I could strip the knockoff, the leftovers here, but again, this is... I'm really worried about Toxtricity without this Ferrothorn at a certain health point. Plus, we haven't even gotten up Stealth Rocks yet. So I'm thinking Reuniclus with its Thunder. We do have the Leech Seed to kind of give us a bit of a hand here, as they just elect to do that again, which is fine. As they Roost, is this Thunder going to hit? Please hit. Nice. We could even get a para from that. Yeah. It's Electric Scald right there. So now they're at 43%. That's awesome. Actually, we have decent speed EVs. Depending on how they're invested, we might outspeed them right now. Yeah, there we go. That's awesome. That's perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better turn right there. As they go to Grimmsnarl. Again, I'm suspecting screens, but given the fact they didn't lead with it and given the nature of this team thus far, I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of bulk up substitute set on their own. But regardless, I think I'm okay with Tapu Lele here. Maybe we get Spirit Break to turn 1. Okay, they are a screen setter, which is fine. I can still go for my Moonblast, which should hopefully be an Oko through the screens. Not quite, barely gonna live. That's fine. Do I double switch on the Toxtricity? I'm thinking no, in case they attack, which is the case. So now they go to Toxtricity, and I can do that original game plan that I laid out right at Team Preview. I'm gonna go probably straight to my Ferrothorn. If it's some sort of Specs whatever, I'm good. And if they go to Spectrier, we have Hydreigon for this very reason. Now, I've never used a defensive Hydreigon in order to beat Spectrier, so I'm actually a little bit freaked out by this, but it looks like it's fine. By all accounts, it looks completely fine to us. They still have 4 turns of Reflect and all that nonsense. Is it worth the Defog, or do I just keep swinging? I think I'm gonna risk a Defog. As they go to Rotom, we are slower, still gonna need a Volt Switch or a Thunder Wave on us. I think I just get that terrain back up. We're already paralyzed. If they go to paralyzed, we're fine. If they attack, the health isn't too important. And yeah, we're already paralyzed, so we're just A-okay. No longer any resist to our Psyshocks or our Psychics, anything like that. So let's just let it rip. Make like a Beyblade and let it rip. Okay, doesn't matter, but watch them miss this Hydro Pump. Okay, we don't quite get that. We don't quite get that at all. But Rotom is going to set up what I've been waiting all live to do the entire time. Show me your Expanding Force Swap in. I'll wait. Don't you dare full para. Okay, good. Okay. Show me your expanding force swap in. That unfortunately supports the Spectre from them. I am damn tempted to stay in on a substitute, but we won't risk it, especially if they're going for a Hex. That's exactly what they do. Dark Pulse, hard to say no to right now. No one really swaps into it comfortably. We don't have a lot of special attack on this at all, but even Rillaboom's taking, what, 40%? 42? Man, we're getting there with the head calcs. We're getting there. Only way to get better is experience, and I'm slowly notching up the experience there. I don't think... I'm having a hard time with this Mind Shadow in so far, you guys can probably tell. I want to do it. It's a favorite of mine. Mind Fu is a legend in Little Cup. But I'm having a hard time with it right now. Yeah, maybe we go to... I don't realistically need... I might still need Ferrothorn, actually, take that back. I think I need all of these guys. I think I go to Reuniclus on the sack, sadly. I guess, you know, honestly, I'm doing all this talk about keeping things safe for the Toxtricity in case the Toxtricity is like my worst nightmare. But realistically, Reuniclus is about as good as it gets for the most part, too. You know, we hit that strong expanding force. But anyways, this should be fine. As far as a swap into Rillaboom goes, as long as we don't get full parried right now, which we don't. Yeah, expanding force still base 80 power outside of the psychic terrain. Doubles, of course, in the psychic terrain, making it a total nuke on a strong Pokemon like Reuniclus here. I'm actually not even going to risk this. You could just sack that Reuniclus right now, but if they substitute and I get full parried, all of a sudden I'm in a little bit of a pickle. Not really, because it seems by the looks of things that this Hydreigon is as good of an answer as we could ask for. But still. So I'll do this. Can I Earth Power now? I can. So Earth Power will prevent the Toxtricity from going for a Shift Gear on us. Or it won't. If we knock them out anyways. GG to our opponent. That was a fun one for sure. I'm liking the team so far. Bulky offense has always been one of my favorites, going back to when I first started playing competitively. It really leverages like smart switches, being careful. I mean, I laid it all out right here, but it just feels like you have all the offense you possibly need, but you always have some answer defensively if it's built correctly, right? If you no matter what you come up against, you can get at least one, you know, key swap in for your Hydreigon. Like, it feels like you always have at least like one ticket to answer every offensive Pokemon. And then in terms of defensive Pokemon, like look at this murderer's row right here. We got Reuniclus and Tapu Lele and Hydreigon. Like, we're not having a lot of trouble breaking through walls for the most part either. So looking at this matchup though, Aegislash definitely gives me some pause. This Hydreigon's gonna be useful even outside of a Spectre answer. If it's banded though, we're in some trouble. Even if it's Life Orb, we'd be in some trouble. Actually, I think even Spec sets carry close combat just for that good coverage. So that gives me a lot of concern. However, who are we likely to see in turn one? I'm thinking Hippowdon, perhaps Mandibuzz, but strikes me as a little bit unlikely. Maybe Magearna. Maybe even Aegislash. But if I had to highlight just two Pokemon that I see as most likely, it's going to be Hippowdon, because they might want to get their Sand Rush Dracozolt going as soon as possible. Or their Magearna. In which case, Tapu Lele is fantastic for Hippowdon, but it's not so great for the Magearna. Frankly, Ferrothorn's the option. This is one of those cases where I think looking at lead matchups is so valuable, because it can give you... Normally, I don't love Ferrothorn as a lead because it doesn't give you a lot of momentum to start the game. But in situations like this, to go for rocks or go for a Power Whip? I think the Power Whip. Go to Mandibuzz. Credit to them there. I think I knock off on a U-turn. Or to go to a Stealth Rock on a U-turn. I think they're U-turning regardless. They don't... Foul play is not getting them anything. Okay, I stand corrected. They do that. I'll knock off in case they opt to defog. Unlike a pressure defogger, the impetus is kind of them to swap against a defogger. I have more PP with Stealth Rock than they do with defog. So I'm just going to keep this going all day. Not to mention, now that I've knocked off their heavy duty boots, this Mandibuzz will be taking 25% from every swap in. So even better just to keep these Stealth Rocks up. Not the most, like, you know, I can think of teams that would be a little bit more hurt by Stealth Rocks than this one, but always helpful. Always going to be punishing those chips. That chip damage is what I'm struggling to say there. Now Celesteela, very likely going to be doing a flamethrower right now. It does have that. I've gotten caught by it an embarrassing number of times, if I'm being honest with you guys. So I'm thinking, is Thunder? Is it's ET Thunder? I'm thinking Reuniclus. Is its accuracy reduced in? Okay, yeah, same with Hurricane. Okay. That's weird to me. It seems like a Thunder would not be very accurate in a Sandstorm. Maybe that's just me. Although if we look at the Dune Sandworm, they had some Thunder going on in Dune. Oh, don't even get me started on the trailer. Maybe I'm making this up. I thought they had some crazy sci-fi thunderstorms in that. Okay, well, I guess I'm kind of on a new one right now. So maybe what I'm saying is that Game Freak is subscribing to the Frank Herbert philosophy of their sandstorms. Whereas, yeah, you know, if I'm being honest, there's not a lot of thunder in sunny days either. But hey, regardless, we gotta play around this flamethrower right now. I'll go to my Reuniclus right now on the meteor beam. Oh, that's pretty scary actually. Yeah, 52. So if it's doing 52 from a meteor beam, I think a flash cannon takes us out right now. So what's my answer? What's my response if that's the case? I'm gonna take a little. It's, you know, this has been a non. Last one I was using the calc a lot. Here's some heavy criticism, mind you. But this one I've been kind of off the calc train there. But I'm curious to see how I do versus a meteor beam here. So we do this against a Reuniclus, and we'll do meteor beam and flash cannon. Shocked that they went for that meteor beam earlier. They must have realized I took so long to do that. So wait, how's doing so much damage? It's power herb. My calc says it should be maxing out at 37. So let's say it's modest, whatever. How did that do so much damage? Am I missing something here? People are always very good to correct me in the comments of why things are hitting so hard. Oh, because it counts for the special attack boost. That's right. That makes sense. It's special attacks boost and then it meteor beams. Okay, and that hits straight on, and flash cannon does knock us out. Now I'm taking a little bit too long on one turn here, but I'm actually genuinely curious when this set is run, what else people use. Oh, this suggests that it's used on top, like over flash cannon. See, that's why I'm glad I checked this out. Flamethrower does have, so they did come in to threaten our Ferrothorn for a reason. But I bet we live in air slash, in which case a thunder would really not be too bad at all. If it's air slash instead of flash cannon here, yeah, it's not really. It's a bottom roll. Okay, well, that was all for naught then. I want the Hydreigon for Aegis Slash. Mindshot's definitely dying to an air slash. This is Vexum, is what this is. I think Tapu Lele lives 1, and I can have some hit, but it resists all my stuff pretty well, man. Oh, what a pickle we're in. This thing might just 6-0 my whole team, especially if they opt for an Autonomize. There's no items to knock off with Landers, so Landers is doing very little damage. I might just have to sack Hydreigon here at some point to try to get stuff going. Well, let's hope they don't flash cannon. I don't think they will. I think they're gonna air slash right now. I'll go to Tapu Lele just for some chip. Oh, I don't think they have flash cannon still, so I think we're fine. This thing might just 6-0 me right now. And I'm actually a little bit overdoing my live here, so that means that the live ends with me getting 6-0'd. So the stakes have never been higher. Psychic terrain, is that stronger? It's already accounted the psychic terrain boost, so it's plus 50, and this is... No, Focus Blast is the strongest hit. I think I gotta go for Focus Blast. Oh, is they Meteor Beam? Just scary, but they're giving us a chance here. Giving us some chance. We'd live this, I would pop off. Oh, let's go. Let's go. I can't believe it had it in it. I think an air slash would have certainly 2-hit KO'd. I think that was a mistake from them. I'm in fact going to confirm it. Right when I'm patting myself on the back for not using the calc too much, I'm going to confirm it. Air slash should have all accounts 2-hit KO'd after the autonomize. They were fine if they did that, but they were greedy. They want that second meteor beam boost, and we've never been more rewarded. I'll keep this just because it can come in and kill Mandibuzz, it can come in and kill Powdon, it can come in and kill Dracozolt outside of the sand. And if I'm gonna keep this, I'm making a Hail Mary prediction that it's not shift gear. Oh god. I don't know if Landers lives one after this. Okay, we're fine. If they didn't call mine. I'm spending too much time in the calc, so I won't check that, but I was curious if it would have. Oh, okay, yeah. Straight up. There we go. Do I lose? This just in. What are my options? Yeah, had I known it was Meteor, I don't know if it was Shift Gear. Well, if it's a Shift Gear Ice Beam, it's always faster than my Landorus in this scenario. Ferrothorn has very little to beat it, especially if it's Aura Sphere. Same goes to Hydreigon. Mind Shout, it might not have stored power. It could be 3 attack. If they're 3 attack, oh, I'm in the wrong screen again. Come on, Nathan. Come on, Nathan. I'm sorry. If they're 3 attack, I mean, this thing's got 157 speed depth. I think they just take us out regardless. my thing with Magearna. You really gotta have specific stuff for it. To be able to beat both answers of whatever set it's running, you have to build your team very carefully around it. And I know I've heard much smarter players than myself than like Flinch. I've heard much smarter players than myself, like Finch, say that it's not a big of a problem compared to Pokemon like Spectrier, which is fair. But I don't know, man. I think this is one of the biggest things that scare me when I play Pokemon right now. It just absolutely terrifies me. So again, I think Hydreigon's gone. Not to mention Earth Power's not killing it. It's probably activating a weakness policy, if anything. It's my Mind Show's outsped. I'll see if I can survive one hit with a close combat. I think it's over. I'm just delaying the inevitable. Flash Cannon's revealed. Okay. If that was the case, maybe we could have gone to something sooner, but yeah, it's not looking so good for us. I'll go to Ferrothorn and Leech Seed as I get 2-hit KO'd by Aura Sphere. Nearly OHKO'd. Yeah, well, hey, that's a pretty standard way for a game to end in Showdown. We had a fun time with this team, but unfortunately seems to suffer with the best setup sweeper in Pokemon right now. Is that fair to say? I'm gonna say it. This thing terrifies me. I woke up in a chill sweat last night at the thought of a Magearna sweeping me during today's live, and it seems that fear was justified. I'm gonna ask that weakness policy, because maybe this was the play early on. I'm not seeing anything else it could have been. Unless Reuniclus does it right now and reverse 5-0s our opponent. I hope they tell us though if it was weakness policy. I want at least some like information on what maybe that was the play. I feel like no. Are they gonna leave us hanging? Are they really gonna leave us hanging? Another live without a GG, by the way. Oh, they're leaving us in such perfect suspense. Drum roll. What's it gonna be? Oh man, see, this is muscle memory. In my defense, I keep doing this and I apologize of going to this scene instead. But when I spend more time streaming than I do with Pokemon, than with the live, so I have some reasoning. Oh, they're not gonna tell us, huh? That's truly sad. But anyways, thank you guys for watching the live. I hope you had a fun time, and they do leave very sad. We'll never know. I'm guessing just they didn't reveal anything else, right? It could have been expert belts for sure, especially if it was those 3 attacks. But we'll never know. But regardless, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've all been really responding well to the Reuniclus lives, which is great. I thought it was a stupid idea when I first thought of the idea of bringing Reuniclus to the top 500, but the climb is going okay. We take a couple little, we're getting hit with a couple speed bumps along the way, but it's still a smooth climb. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.